This is Basel and Zürich, the Klassiker, one of the most legendary games in Switzerland, or how not to use an inverted fullback. This was the lineup of Zürich on paper, but in reality, they played Comberi as a number 6 and Palacio as a center back. So their positions were switched. Comberi usually is a defender, and Palacio usually is a center midfielder. Now, Comberi's assignment was to man-mark Shaqiri. We see it on multiple occasions, and I would say that this tactic actually worked. Shaqiri was not a big influence in his game. The only exception was the first goal. Let's look at Zürich's pressing first. They stood high with Kenny and Marcelo and were pretty much 1v1 everywhere on the pitch. Basel did not try to play through that, and instead went long a lot. It was pretty effective, because they could hold the ball very well, 1v1 in the attack against Zürich. For Zürich, that held the risk of getting beat, and that is how the first goal happens after 13 minutes. We see Zuber losing Leroy in the space behind him. Now it's actually even, 5 against 5. The Comberi loses his man mark on Shaqiri, and the former Swiss international finds a ton of space. Now Touré just moves into this space behind the back line, and even though 2 Zürich defenders stand there, he actually gets very little resistance and can score the first goal. After leading, Basel becomes very passive. They still have 2 very good chances with Shaqiri and Ayeki. Both come after horrible backward presses. Zürich's problem is that they are very ineffective with the ball. This is where the inverted fullback comes into play. Zürich tries to build up with 3 defenders, and they have an overload in the middle of the pitch. However, they, just like Basel, play a lot of long balls. Kenny is often alone against 2 or 3 defenders at a time and cannot hold the ball. Here's an example of how they should use their numbers to create chances. There are 3 against 2 on the wide lane and 3 against 2 in the middle. And they can play through that. There are just a lot of situations where Zürich doesn't take advantage of that. For example, Otele often moves and pressures Palacio with Ayeki together. This means Zürich are actually 1 man up down the pitch. But they just smash the ball already. And even here, where Gomez gets behind Shaqiri, they don't use that space and their numbers. To create an overload in the final third, they also invert Comenciaga from his right back position. He often shows up as high as Zürich's highest player. But here too, they cannot play it out. So good positioning, but if Comenciaga doesn't get on the ball, this is all wasted. He also underlapped Marcelo a few times in the first half alone, but he never gets on the ball. The downside of this inverted player is if they lose the ball, there is a lot of space behind him that Palacio has to cover as an unnatural centre-back. However, I think the main problem of Zürich was their focus. Even if this situation doesn't end up being dangerous, they are 1v1 everywhere on the pitch, and they lose those battles. This is no way to win a game, and naturally, Basel wins this one 2-0.